Yes, guys, good day and welcome back to Fashion Upcycled, where we challenge the usual perception of fashion and explore how unconventional materials become wearable garments. Yeah, it's been a wonderful time so far. I remain Joshua Gele, and yeah, my co-host Oluwaseyi John.
That's me.
Yeah. It's been a wonderful time so far. Episode 1, episode 2, and here we are at episode 3. How's it been for you, Shay?
It's been fine. We've gone through so many topics, and I've actually enjoyed doing this thing all the way. I'm ready to talk about something that I'm actually going to be. I'm ready to talk about something I'm actually excited about, something I'm excited to talk about, actually more than the second or the first one.
Wow, that's wonderful insight from you. Yeah, today's episode we shift our focus into something that is largely associated with beauty, something that ties looks together, something that is being reimagined as a textile material in both sustainable and contemporary fashion. Yeah, today's topic is human hair as fabric. Oh my god, human hair as fabric. What a wonderful topic we are talking about here. So, what are your thoughts? What are can you give us a preamble on what to expect?
Well, human hair is what I think is human hair is actually very suited to be suited to be a fabric material. It's flexible, it's strong, it's completely natural, and it's something that's you can exactly something that you can find everywhere. It's perfect to be a fabric material in my own mind.
So yeah, this is like one thing that makes it stand out is because it's like a flexible, strong, non it doesn't irritate anybody. It's a biodegradable material. It's abundantly available. Yeah, you look to your left to see it. You look to your right to see it. You look to the front. You look back. You everywhere you see it, and then it's unexpected. You are not expecting. It's not something that you plan for. It's not something that you say, okay, oh, I can predict this, or you can't predict it. It's surprising. It's surprising and it's appropriate. He has the appropriate resource in sustainable fashion. It's not something that you're expecting. It's not something that you are thinking of at all. It is, and it is something that it fits the purpose because yeah, like I said before, it's flexible, strong, irritating.
It's biodegradable.
Yeah, it's abundantly available. Yeah, and it's unexpected. It is surprising. Yeah. So join us, guys.
As we take a deep dive into this new topic, one that we're sure that you're going to enjoy, probably more than the other two. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, guys, yeah. So we'll be talking about what makes hair textile worthy. What do you think makes hair textile worthy?
Well, like we said before, when we're talking about something that's sustainable and yet contemporary, hair is something that that everybody has with them. Everybody, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what age, doesn't matter exactly what age you are, doesn't exactly matter what hair, what kind of, doesn't matter exactly what kind of condition you are, whether you're old, you're young, maybe you're having some kind of this weird condition that's making you bald, you still have hair somewhere on your body. And because of and something and it's very and it's something that's we don't even notice that we have most of the times. You're just walking and you don't even notice how high your hair is. You don't even notice exactly how much hair you have on your arms or on your legs. It's something that we always have with us, and yeah, we don't even notice it at all. It's completely natural, and it's very comfortable for us to have with us. That's what makes it such a suitable fashion. That's exactly what makes it such a suitable material to use
Yes.
as fabric in fashion, because since there's so much of it and we usually just throw it away, it's high in abundance, and it's already something that we're used to having
Yeah,
on our bodies.
and you might be surprised by this, but notice that it could actually be a fact though. Notice that human hair is actually a natural fiber and it's very similar to the likes of wool, feathers, and because of this very impressive qualities, it's strong, like we said before, flexible, durable, and all things you'd expect from a good textile material. Yeah.
Hmm. I feel like, yeah, exactly. You're right about that. And and even one more advantage, its availability is very high. Since people style their hair every day, people go to the barber shop, people go to the hairstylist every day, and the amount of hair that is cut up and the amount of hair that is discarded and the amount of hair that is just thrown away is so high. I bet that you could make more. I bet you could make very high. I bet you could make so many dresses out of just one day. I bet one days of hair in a barber shop could be enough for about at least 20 dresses.
Mm-mm.
What do you think? How much hair do you think you can make out of all that?
If you're saying 20 dresses, are you trying to say that the barber is not going to barb so many people? Because if the barber is going to make a lot of sales that day, the amount of hair, because people's hair are much more than you think, so the amount of hair that day is worth enough to make more than 20, maybe even close to 100 dresses. 100 dresses. What do you think?
Well, if the barber is having a very high amount of customers each day, then I guess yeah, I guess sure that's a possibility. Especially when you're thinking about, let's say, if there's a new trend going out about a new hairstyle, I bet people would be going there more often.
Yeah, and then we see that a single strand of hair can actually hold a significant amount of weight. A single strand of hair is capable of supporting a significant amount of weight, and that means strand for strand, hair is actually stronger than most synthetic fibers. What do you think?
Yes, that's a very good point. They can handle up to a very high amount of tension. If you actually take one strand of hair and pull it and then put something on top of it, it won't snap. If you keep putting something else on top of it, if you're able to balance your hand very well, you can actually keep that material, you can actually keep holding up the hair and the material on top of it very well. The hair is actually very, like you said, hair is far stronger than most synthetic materials. That makes it more than appropriate for than actually most fabrics for fashion. Like if you actually if like the fabric you go and buy, like a single strand of thread can actually snap very easily. But if you compare that to a single strand of hair, it's not the same. It's actually far harder to snap a single strand of hair. You actually have to put way more. You have to put more effort into snapping hair actually than snapping thread.
Yeah, and this makes it very ideal for different forms of manipulation. And when it's processed properly, hair can be shaped into fabric like surfaces, or even like used to strengthen other textiles. And yes, you said before that its availability is a very great deal advantage. And then you see that human hair is actually constantly being produced and cut every single day, because people are always barbing their hair every single day, and people barb their hair today means that you could actually produce clothes from hairs tomorrow, and then this makes the steady supply of hair very high, and then it makes it a sustainable resource. Yeah, and then not just that, we also see that it's biodegradable. This alone makes it much more environmentally friendly option for sustainable fashion practices. Yeah.
I think yes, that is a very good point. Not j- if and I feel like if designers are able to understand all of these amazing advantages of how something that is growing on the top of their head, something that is growing on their arms, something that is literally all over their body, if they can just understand how good of an advantage this is, the amount of clothes, the amount of innovative way they can create, it will be possibly endless for them. They
Yeah.
are so busy trying to buy materials, high quality materials from all these different shops, all these different vendors, all these different factories, and they have no idea that something as valuable as this is literally on the top of their head. Like I feel like that is an amazing advantage that many people end up missing. What do you think?
Yeah. It's very great advantage. And when we see that designers understand both the physical strength and the environmental benefits of this human hair, we see that they are better positioned to explore its potential as a textile material and then valuable tools in sustainable fashion design. Yeah, it's been an insightful, wonderful time. It's been a beautiful first session in this episode 3. What do you think?
Well, I think with what we said, I feel like many people should try this later on because if you don't, then you're missing a big opportunity to make big bucks.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you right back after the break. Do stay tuned, stay seated, glued to your seats. We'll see you guys.
The 60s came, you had the hippies just wanting to sit in the sun and sing all day. I imagine that we're probably going to get something similar.
Okay, now we're back. We just went through human hair and why it is such an amazing resource in fashion. Now I feel like it's time that we actually go through how this hair can be transformed into actually real fabric.
Yes.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, this is the transformation process for this fabric, and since it's one of the most discarded materials in everyday life gathering, it doesn't even pose an issue for designers. It's very easy to gather because people barb their hairs every day, and then discovered a large quantity of hair are left lying on hairdressing salons, barber shops, cuts, stylings, or grooming sessions. We discovered that this hair is actually left lying on on the ground, on the floor, here and there, and it's not an issue for them to pack it. So, in order to gather as much hair as they would need, these designers partner with different barber shops, salons, and different hair vendors, and they usually sort out the hair, collect it based on length. Like you can't collect a man's hair or a male's hair the same as you collect a female's hair. You get?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since women hair might women like to, let's say some women actually like to grow their hair out much longer than most men. So the amount of hair you can collect from a woman will be actually much higher, and actually maybe even in better quality.
Yeah, and they usually sort it again by texture, by color. Like now, some people's hair are blonde, some people's hair are brown, some people's hair are tan, some people's hair are red, some blue, some green, different colors, some black, and they usually sort this out according to colors and also as these qualities they determine how it can be used for creating fabric. You see some people's hair are coiled, some people's hair is straight. You get so they sort them out, they bring them according to these different criterias and as many more as they may be. And yes, once it's gathered up, they go through a very, very thorough cleansing, like the way our fishing nets and ropes usually go through thorough cleansing and cleaning. They usually go through sanitification processes and sterilization methods. And this is done to make the hair free from every form of oil, every form of dirt, every form of residue, and to make it safe and hygienic for production and even for wearing as well. And then some of them, these natural disinfectants are used in order to ensure the hair is good enough to make into fabric and all that.
Not just disinfectant. Some people even go so far as to use salts to clean the hair they have, because, like you said, all these because different people you don't know where they've been, you don't know what kind of cosmetics they're using to style their hair, you don't know if it's harmful or not. So you can't take your chances when you're working with something that's been on the top of someone's head.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that whatever you're using, it is appropriate, it is clean, it is hygienic, it is perfect for you to use. Like you said, you need to make sure that a material like this that's biodegradable is actually clean. It is actually safe to use in
Yeah.
fashion.
Yes. And here, the cleaning process is done so that the hair can be prepared for fabrication. And then we said that there are different ways designers like to arrange the hair that they collect from into fabric. There are different ways they said to arrange them. Some can straighten, some can curl, some can cut the hair into uniform lengths. You
That
get
is actually the most appropriate one, I think, because if you're working with hair, something that's usually very unruly, something that's usually tangled, something that is very just like a hellish thing to just keep together. I feel like cutting up the hair would actually be the best way to arrange it up, and and even if you don't want to do that, I bet that's the best thing, and I bet that's the most easiest thing for you to do is to straighten it out, because curling it together feels like it would be beyond hellish for most people.
yeah. And but some people decide to just leave their hair like that, just leave the hair that way. And then yeah. So we discovered that some would rather preserve it in its natural texture, while some would decide to enhance the visual appeal of the final piece. You said like, and after this they now transform the hair into wearable materials. Various techniques like weaving, braiding, knotting, embroidery, felting are used in this stage in order to make sure that they are befitting for people to wear. And then that's not even all. We see some instances whereby designers combine the Sudan human hair and other materials like cotton thread, silk, or even mesh. They combine them and they do this in order to improve the comfort and the structure. Yeah.
I feel like structure is the most important one, because, like we said, hair might be tough, but that doesn't mean it's That means it's doesn't that mean it's perfect. If you want to make sure that your hair can be very good, like you need to make sure your hair is in the best quality possible for making fabric and fashion. You need to make sure that its strength is up to the task, because when you're working with something as delicate as hair, it may be strong, but that doesn't mean it's impervious. You need to make sure that that you need to make sure that you're able to sew it together. You need to make sure that you're able to weave it. You need to make sure that you're able to braid it together. Because even when you're putting together hair, because even when you're putting together hair, you need to try your best to make sure that your hair is able to withstand whatever method you use for turning into fabric and then later turning it into clothing.
And you see, as one expect, turning this hair into wearable fabric isn't, it comes to challenges such as durability, comfort, and even skill in craftsmanship. Like a beginner or an amateur can't be doing the work that a professional should be doing. You get, because if a beginner or if an amateur is in that kind of work here, it won't turn out the way a professional's work would turn out, you get. And then even so many designers, they face the challenges as part of their innovation process and part of making their statements on sustainable fashion. They make they make different mistakes, they experience different challenges and then to overcome. But yeah, at the end they do end up overcoming those challenges. And yeah, that's right about it.
Well, I think that's all we have for now. Please stay tuned and we'll be right back after this break.
So, where fabric is created, where fabric originates from, has a very strong crafts language that has been developed in many cases and in many communities over centuries. And many of the techniques you find are woven into the fabric of those societies in a way that is what we term globally now sustainable. But for these communities, it's just the way of life.
And now we're back. That was an
Yes.
exciting break. I'm sure
Yeah.
we all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, we just talked about human hair, what it's about, how it can be turned into fashion.
Yes, the
Now-
process of
now-
making it, yeah.
Now we're going to go through something we've already gone through before, now we're going to go through something we already gone through in one of our different episodes. The different people who have actually been able to use this, because you're talking about human hair here. The people who actually managed to make it into fashion, these are people who are dedicated. These are people who are master craftsmanship. These are people who are very patient. These are people who are able to go through the strides. These are people who are able to go through this long process and actually be able to maintain their focus through all of it.
Mm.
So let's mention some and let's even applaud some at the end.
Yeah, we have Charlie Lemindu, who is a British fashion designer. He's known for his bold use of human hair in haute culture. In haute culture. And then we see that Lemindu, he transforms human hair into dresses, capes, and full garments by weaving and by stitching them into mesh and textile bases. And then what comes forth is even striking, because you see that it's striking because we don't expect it and it's almost showy, like you get. And because of this, his work doesn't just sit within fashion, it blurs the line between fashion, performance art, sculpture. He gets challenging the audience to rethink the idea they once had before, and it truly qualifies him as a wearable, qualifies it as a wearable material. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like Lemindu is someone when I think of when I was researching things up, I feel like this is somebody who has actually pushed the boundaries of what we think human hair can do. Like you said, not just art and clothing, but even a sculpture. A sculpture out of hair. I never even imagined that before. But hey, someone found a way to do it. I
Yeah.
bet that must have been very taxing.
Mm.
Like making something from hair into something as durable as a sculpture, something that you can actually hold and not something that is not soft, something as soft as hair into a hard sculpture. I bet that must have taken so much time, so much effort, so much patience, so hard. I bet it was beyond straining for a person, but yet he was able to make sure that it came out good. That is somebody that we just have to applaud for good work.
Yeah, yeah.
Another name that's often comes up when we're talking about human hair as fabric is somebody that's I bet some people, if you're actually into stuff like this, I bet a name like this will pop up. Who are we talking about?
Zofia Kola, a Hungarian designer who explored hair as ethical fashion research. She explored the hair the idea of hair as ethical research, fashion research, and then she focused on emotional, cultural weight of hair, transforming them into soft textile, into soft garments, and in doing so, she also yes blurred the line of what we consider beautiful and we might initially find uncomfortable. She turned it into something of legacy, something iconic. Yeah, what do you think?
I feel like that's also very important because hair isn't just a material; it's also something that can actually carry someone's legacy. Because with the hair because the hair that these designers are collecting, it's not their own. Because if they were just working with their own hair, they'd never be able to get that work done, right?
Yeah,
It's hair, they're carrying different people's hair, and they're also carrying different people's memory as well. These are people who take what other people have is what other people have left behind, they literally take what other people have left behind, and then they make it into something that's not only just in nothing that embodies them, but also embodies themselves. The work that they put into all of this is literally a way of them showing that is literally a way of them presenting themselves, not just their work, but presenting themselves in such a ethical way, in such a way that most people would never even think about. That is something that we also need to applaud as well.
yeah, and that's a very important point because hair isn't just a material. It carries, like you said, identity, memories, symbols, and a sense of personal intimacy here. And what connects all these designers is mindset. They have one singular mindset. They have the same goal. They're going the same direction, and that's what has enabled them to find the paths, blaze the trail here and there. And that's what has also enabled them to see that hair isn't just something strange, gross or unusual. It is so potential. They saw a seed that could be sown, and when it is grown out, it germinates to be a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful tree at the end. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I feel like you were able to. I feel like what you just said. I feel like if they actually heard that, they'd be able to hear it as well.
Yeah, yeah, they'd be happy to hear that. And yet today we discovered how much hair compares to textiles. How much hair compares to textiles, how it can be transformed to textiles, the process. We talked about people who have learned to do so and icons in this business, in this industry there. And this is another reminder that sustainable fashion comes from looking at what we have from a different perspective, not just a perspective of criticism. Because some people will have criticized this designer saying that, oh, what are they doing? What they're doing is not this. What they're doing is not right. You're not supposed to do it like this. You're not supposed to do it at all. But we see that what we criticize, what we condemn, if we look at it from a different aspect, if we look at it from a different angle, it can turn out to be actually wonderful, magnificent, iconic words of the century. Yeah. Thank you for joining us, guys, on this episode of Fashion Upcycles Human hair as fabric. Be sure to tune in and stay tuned to your seats for the next episode. It'll be a very, very insightful and fun time.
Remember, guys, it's all about perspective. If you can't view it as something that everyone else has already done, if you keep viewing it as something that as what everyone else does, you'll never be able to actually see it as something else. It's all about what goes on in here.
It's all
Thanks,
about
guys.
mindset. Yeah, yeah. Thanks to our sponsors once again. Do have a wonderful and beautiful day ahead.